Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we will be talking about the Atlanta Falcons versus Seattle Seahawks. Now, as you guys know, the Atlanta Falcons versus Seattle Seahawks game will be taking place this coming Sunday. It's going to be on 1 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be on either Fox or CBS Sports. But I'm very, very excited. But I'm going to be giving you the preview of this game, some of the players that will be injured for both teams, and some of the players that won't be injured, and some of the players that could be X factors in the game, and the reason why both teams could have a possibility of winning this game. So, without a doubt, let's get into the prediction for the Atlanta Falcons versus Seattle Seahawks game that will take place this Sunday. Alright, when it comes to the Falcons versus Seahawks games and the guys that are going to be injured, the Falcons do kind of have a lot of players that could be injured. Marlon Davidson and AJ Terrell are going to be two questionable ones because they've had limited practice. I think it was Marlon Davidson that did participate Tuesday but did not participate in Wednesday practice. So that's going to be looking really, really weird. AJ Terrell, of course, is injured with a hamstring injury, And yeah, to see two of the Falcons' first-round picks, two of the Falcons' draft picks get injured just reminds me of what happened last year with Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGray, the two tackles that basically had injuries throughout the whole season. It was really, really weird. But two things that we do have good that is going to be playing is going to be Dante Fowler Jr., a defensive end that we're definitely going to need against the Russell Wilson offense like that. Matt Hennessy, who will hopefully be starting at left guard because I feel like he'd be perfect in that kind of position. We are going to have Russell Gage, who probably will be our slot wide receiver switching out of the slot. When it comes to the Falcons wide receivers, we're not going to have Kendall Sheffield, and we're not going to have Charles Harris. These guys did not participate in any practice during the past 2 days. That was Wednesday and Tuesday. And yeah, those guys are out with a foot and ankle injury, so it's going to be, especially Kendall Sheffield, considering we do need the depth around the cornerback position or defensive back position. It's going to be really, really tough seeing Kendall Sheffield. It's not going to be there, but hey, if AJ Terrell ends up being healthy by the first day of the season or first game of the season when we play Seattle, that means it's going to be AJ Terrell and Isaiah Oliver at the cornerback positions, and that, hey, I would love to see that. Now for the Seattle Seahawks, let's get into this real quick. They have three players that have been on the injury report for the past couple of days. That is Cedric Abui, they have Duane Brown, and they have Philip Dorsett. So 2 tackles and a wide receiver. All three of these guys have had limited practice, so it's really going to be questionable up to the day whether they're going to play. I mean, when it comes to the tackle positions, Duane Brown, I know he definitely does play for he does start for the Seattle Seahawks. So he's going to be a big miss if he doesn't play. And Philip Dorsett, he gives Russell Wilson another wide receiver option. Even though that they did sign Josh Gordon to the wide receiver position, it's still good to have another wide receiver there. You have more weapons to target. But yeah, if he doesn't play, that's probably going to be a decent miss. It's not going to be a big miss for Russell Wilson, but it's going to be a decent miss when it comes to this game. And now let's get into the X factors who could possibly win the game for each team. We're going to start, since the Seattle Seahawks since the Atlanta Falcons is my team, we're going to start with the Atlanta Falcons and the X factors that could possibly help them win this game. So when it comes to the X factors that could possibly help the Falcons win this game, looking at the offensive side, we have Matt Ryan, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for the past couple of seasons. Of course, he was the 2016 National Football League MVP. And I'd say since he started in the NFL, he's had a very, very consistent season, throwing at least over 4,000 passing yards each season. So Matt Ryan's going to be a very, very tough competitor for Russell Wilson, that defense. But of course, the Seattle Seahawks have the best linebacker in the NFL, and Bobby Wagner. So that's going to be tough for them. Todd Gurley, if you guys don't know, did used to play for the LA Rams. He's very familiar when it comes to coming up against the Seattle Seahawks because he used to play in the Seahawks division, and there's same thing goes with Dante Fowler Jr., who he played a season for the Rams. I can't say he knows a lot about the division, but he played a season or two for the Rams, so he does know what it's like to play against the Seattle Seahawks team. So that's going to be very interesting to see. And the other two guys that are going to be possibly X factors for the Falcons when it comes to winning this game, it's going to be obviously the two wide receivers that is Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is projected to have a very big season coming this season, and hopefully, knock on wood, if he doesn't get injured, he can have an over 1,000 receiving yard season. And I mean, is there anything to discuss about Julio Jones? Julio Jones is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I do not know how in Madden he did not get 99 rated. Meanwhile, Michael Thomas got 99 rated. Okay, yeah. We'll see about that. We'll see what's the best season in terms of like actual yards and not receptions, because DeAndre Hopkins won a full season without dropping the ball. So I'm pretty sure that after that season, DeAndre Hopkins did not get 99 overall. So that's really, really debatable. But when it comes to the defensive side for the Atlanta Falcons, we gotta talk about the big man for the Falcons defense, Grady Jarrett, one of the best defensive tackles in the National Football League, and I'm very, very excited to see the season that he had, because this could be a big old season for him, and this could be the season where he goes above and he becomes one of the best. Like, when I mean one of the best, like top 3 defensive tackles in the NFL. But we'll have to see what happens in this game. But he's gonna play a very big factor in terms of the defense. Deion Jones, Dante Fowler Jr. are two other options that can play big games. Dante Fowler Jr. Played the last 2 seasons, I think, for the LA Rams. I think was it a season or it was 2 seasons? I think it was 2 seasons for the LA Rams, so he knows what it's like. So he can probably give the defense some like inside info on how to play Seattle. Even though the Atlanta Falcons did play Seattle last season, but Dante Fowler Jr. does have a little bit more experience of playing against this team, but it's going to be interesting to see. DeMonte Casey, a free safety or a free safety. This is going to be a decent season for him, because DeMonte Casey, ever since he's come into that defense, he made the star play, I think it was 2 years ago, and ever since then, people have said, like, oh, he has the potential to be one of the best safeties in the NFL, and I do see the potential. But we're going to have to see what happens when it comes to the season. And the final X factor, I think, that could be a big factor is going to be Isaiah Oliver, the cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons. If he does do good, this is going to be a season where Isaiah Oliver becomes our best cornerback that we have, and we don't really have that many good cornerbacks, to be honest. But yeah, those are the X factors I think that are all going to help or be a factor for the Falcons win this game. Now let's get on into the X factors for the Seattle Seahawks. It's kind of a little bit shorter, but it's still a lot of big players. Of course, starting off for Seattle Seahawks, we got to talk about Mr. Russell Wilson. I don't know how this guy hasn't made back to another Super Bowl. It's absolutely crazy in my opinion. I feel like Russell Wilson should definitely be back. And Russell Wilson is going to have a very, very good season. I predict him to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks, of course, in the NFL. Probably in the conversation for the NFL MVP, but we'll see it. We'll have to see if he does end up getting the win. But then we move on into probably what is going to be a good pairing for the Seattle Seahawks. That is Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson. Those are 2 good running backs. Carlos Hyde, when he was with the 49ers, he was a really good running back. But ever since then, he's been bouncing all over the place. Chris Carson, they spent, what was it, a 2nd-round pick on him? Or a 1st-round pick on Chris Carson, and he's kind of okay running back. I wouldn't say he's one of the best. I wouldn't say he's on Todd Gurley's level, but he's still a very good, decent running back. So yeah, that's their X factors on the running back spot. The one X factor wide receiver in terms of this game is going to be Tyler Lockett, of course. Actually, no, hold on. Because I researched this, and they said that Tyler Lockett's going to be X factor for the Seattle Seahawks, and then I remembered DK Metcalf. So Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are going to be 2 very good wide receiver options for Russell Wilson in terms of that thing. So they're going to be X factors. And of course, at tight end, you have Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen has so much experience against this Falcons team because, of course, as you guys know, he used to play for the Carolina Panthers. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see when it comes to that. And then on the defensive side, I'd probably say the two biggest weapons for the Seattle Seahawks on that defensive side is going to be Bobby Wagner and, of course, their newest addition, Jamal Adams from the New York Jets. So looking at that, looking at the injuries, looking at the X factors, and like seeing who has the more X factors, seeing who has the more capability of winning this game, you kind of would say the Atlanta Falcons should win this game, even though they have the more injuries. They have the more X factors that give them the opportunity to win this game. So what I think is going to be the score prediction for the Atlanta Falcons versus Seattle Seahawks game. It's gonna be a tight win because this game is gonna be a really, really tight win, really, really competitive game, and I'm very, very excited to see what happens on Sunday at 1:00 p.m. on probably going to be Fox, maybe, I don't really know. But my score prediction for the Atlanta Falcons versus Seattle Seahawks game: the Seattle Seahawks have a very, very good defense, and the Falcons I'd probably say have a young. I can't really say young, but I don't think they're like as good as the Seattle Seahawks defense. So I feel like defense is going to really run this. Well, offense is actually going to run this game, but defense is still going to be very, very important. So I'm going to say in the end, the Falcons are going to get the loss against the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 31-24. So I think we're going to be losing by at least a touchdown. It could be closer. It could be 31-28, but we'll really have to see. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please just smash the like button if you guys like this video. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications, and let me know what your score predictions for the Falcons game is. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.